Man, I really gotta get some more shorts. I think that is the clothing kind of, section that I lack the most. But regardless, howdy y'all. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Today we got arms, and you may realize, but this is not actually before this workout. I didn't have time to record the beginning section of this workout, but regardless, it's the same old arm day, same thing every day. And you know what? I figured that instead I can do a little addition, kind of mix things up instead of talking about the workout, because you know it's arms. You'll see what I do. I'll talk about it over the video. I'm actually going to show you guys what supplements that I use in a regular day. So we're going to first start off with, of course, a multivitamin. Now, this specific brand, I'm not really a huge, I don't really care about brand. The brands I use the most are Nature's Bounty and Nature Made. This one's actually an Australian brand because I did run out of my original gummy multivitamins when I got here. But you know, these are just kind of overall, regardless of if you're lifting, it's pretty good to take them. Sorry, I'll probably put these down. They're probably kind of loud moving around. So I recommend taking a multivitamin regardless of even if you're bodybuilding. It's always just going to kind of benefit you, get you those vitamins that you need in case you're not getting them in the regular day. And then moving on, another big one in terms of bodybuilding, at least, especially for me, this one I really like. It's helped me a lot, especially in the earlier stages of my bodybuilding, was fish oil. Basically lubrication for your joints, if you don't already know that. It is fantastic. It really does help with keeping your joints nice and loose, and I barely ever have joint pain anymore. I guess you can count my wrists as sort of having joint pain, but that's more, I think that's a tendon and ligament rather than the joint itself, like where the bones are connecting. So, but yeah, this helps support a healthy heart. It's purified to remove mercury, and overall really good. Highly recommend you take it if you're into lifting. And then next, another one that I highly recommend, I've used it since I can remember, is zinc. I use 50 milligrams. It supports immune system function. It's kind of like, okay, take this explanation with a grain of salt, because this is the, you know, I have my computer here. You know, let's look it up so I'm not spreading anything wrong. What does zinc do to help with bodybuilding? Supports muscle growth and recovery through its role in testosterone production and muscle repair. Okay, so that's pretty much what I was gonna say. So obviously there's no natural testosterone boosters. This doesn't boost your testosterone or anything, but I like to think of it as, say there's a scale, and again, this may not be right, but this is how I have thought of it as, or what I from what I understand it to be. 0 to 100. 100% is your maximum natural testosterone output. Your body doesn't always need to operate at 100% like testosterone output, because you know that's not always required like in your day-to-day life. So we'll say on average your body's at producing like 70 to 80% of like how much it could be in its natural state. Zinc basically just opens the flood valve a little bit, so it allows you to like have 85%. So it's just like kind of loosening the hold, I suppose, on your natural testosterone output. That's the best way that I understand it. That might not be exactly it, and I'm sure it's not, but from what I've understood, that's always kind of the example I use, because it's not like obviously increasing your testosterone, because you can't do that naturally, at least to like an amount that actually matters. But that's how I think about it. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but that's how I think about it. If that's not how it's supposed to be thought about, please let me know. I'm genuinely interested to know. I just knocked out my multivitamins. And then last but not least, I have magnesium, and it supports nerve, heart, and bone health, and it supports muscle relaxation. So just kind of helps with the more resting part of rest and recovery of workouts. And someone did tell me that this was the wrong type of magnesium. Like, I forgot. There's another type of magnesium, and they said I should be using that, although I don't think it matters all that much. I still think this works pretty well as what it's supposed to be. So, but yeah, I know it's a bit of a longer intro section, but I felt like that's just something to kind of add, kind of show you guys what I do for my bodybuilding. So, yeah, those are the supplements I take, and now let's get into the gym for a good arm workout. Alrighty, so I don't know what I'm doing. Alrighty, starting this arm day off. We've got beige and cable curls now. At the beginning there, someone walked in front of the camera and apologized, and I'm like, it's fine. Again, it's a public gym. you know, I don't really care if people walk in front of the camera. Yeah, it's public gym. It's not my spot, so I was telling him it was all right. But with these, I think I probably, well, I know that I should probably be keeping my arms, like, you don't want your elbows moving too far, like, you don't want like your, because it's not like a chest or a shoulder movement. You just want the biceps to really be curling while your elbows are kind of staying in the same spot. So I think I need to have them in a more set spot when I start the workout. That way I'm not moving them as much, but it still felt really good. I'm happy with the weight that I was moving. And then also, I don't know why, but the camera goes kind of grainy on this workout. I don't really know why it does that. But for these cable tricep push downs, started with the wrong weight. Forgot to set it before I went ahead and started. And now this cable, like that I'm using right now, or the not the cable but the attachment, wasn't very even, so I ended up grabbing a different one after this because like the left one was slightly higher than my right, and it's like, for me, it's like really irritating if it's not like really even. So I do end up switching it out after this set. But with these, I really want to make sure I'm controlling them, and at the end kind of trying to push out a little bit more. And I don't really, it was a little too heavy for me to be doing the push out at the end. Just getting it down with some work was really working me. So I did end up dropping the weight, as you can see, and moving down about a little less than 2 kilos. And then also, I didn't change the brightness or anything on this. I guess my phone is just catching the lighting a little weird, which is why it's so dark. But as you can see in the background, the preacher curl like seat was taken, so I did end up doing these on the bench again. And again, there's nothing like wrong with it. It just, with the leverage of the preacher curl, it just feels better, and I feel like I can get more depth because I don't have to worry about the round part of the dumbbell, the outer parts, hitting the bench. But these went pretty good. Again, these are kind of a workout where they vary on if they are my first or my second bicep workout of the movement. Because if they're the first one, I'm getting 14 for all 8, and it's like, obviously it's still a workout, but it's not like as hard as this is right now. But if it's my second one, it's like barely getting the first set for 8, and then the next set is 7, and I end up dropping the weight. Not that that's a bad thing, obviously, because that just means I'm a little more tired from doing my other bicep workout. But I do hope to see, even as it being my second workout, the reps getting more consistent, or the sets rather. Hopefully I'll be able to get that 14 for 8 reps for that second set here soon. That is something I'm definitely working towards. Yeah, as you can see, I did end up dropping to 12, and I only got 6 there. In my Arrow app, I did log this workout as like a rough arm day. And again, I am a bit behind on recording, so this was last week. And I don't really know why I logged it as that. I don't remember that it being like all that bad. And next up, some reverse easy bar curls. Now, these are about where I want them to be. Doing my best not to be swinging my body or anything. I do think that I should start varietizing the reverse curls a little bit more, because this is like the main workout I do from. Not that it's bad or anything, but I do want to put in a little more variety with it. I do really like these though. I think they're my favorite reverse, or like my favorite forearm curl, or that and hammer preacher dumbbell curl. But I could be doing the cable version of these, which also works pretty well. As you can see, that might have been why it was a rough day, but the weight was not as consistent as I like. I also ended up having to do my forearm workouts before I was able to finish that last tricep workout. And again, I know I stated this before. This is in the past, so it didn't apply like evenly with what I had said. Again, I'm trying to catch up. I really am. But I need to go lighter on these. I think doing them lighter for more reps is going to be infinitely better and still work my forearm and strengthen it and grow the muscle than doing heavy. And I think that's might be one of the leading causes as to why my wrist is still not healing great. I did probably jump back into doing them too heavy first, but I'm getting to the point where neither of the injuries are really affecting me, but they do have lingering effects. Like this has, like I have a click here now, and I don't know if I'm able to be able to fix that. But it's not really any more pain, and my shoulder, thankfully enough, is doing great. Like I am super happy with how my shoulder is doing after that week off, or 11 days off in New Zealand. My shoulder is like dang near fully healed, and I never thought I'd actually be able to say that, but it's awesome. It really feels great having that almost fully healed. So we're gonna keep an eye on it, make sure we're still stretching it, making sure it's not getting hurt, because it's just so great to have that back. Jeez. Gotta breathe more apparently. But finishing off, we got some overhead tricep extensions. I don't know if I clicked 0.6 on my camera or if I just didn't move it very far back, but I'm a little close to the camera, so I apologize for that. But as you can see, did 34 and a half. Was doing it pretty easy, getting it for 8 from a both sets, so I tried moving up, and I think that's where I'll start next time, is at that 36.25, because as you can see, I was moving 34 and a half plenty good. And of course, we got the good old posing for arm day. Now, I believe this posing, actually, I guess the posing was able to go a little longer. Usually on my arm days, since the gym closes here at 7 o'clock on Saturdays, I'm a little rushed for posing, but I must have been done a little earlier because, as you can see, well, as you will see, I did get a decent amount of posing in. Again, I really want to focus with, obviously, flexing the parts that are being trained in this session. I still want to be working on making sure like the other parts of the pose are still being used well. And I was really focusing here on trying to figure out how to hold my hand at the bottom for that tricep flex, because for me it's hard for me to get my other arm around my back, maybe because I'm just too fucking fat. But I don't know, posing with turning my arm around to do the tricep one, I probably just need to figure out how to do it properly a little bit more, but it's just okay. It's definitely one of the poses I need to work on the most. But yeah, besides that, it was looking at the video, it didn't look that bad, but apparently it was a rough arm day, so I guess it was a little bit of a rough arm day. And yeah, I got cardio for you guys, and I will see y'all back at the apartment. Alrighty, back at the apartment, and now on to the next day of our trip in New Zealand. So we woke up the next day kind of early. We were going on this speedboat, not necessarily a speedboat, but just a boat tour to, we were in, I have the entire trip, I was forgetting the name of it, and now I can't remember it either. But we took this boat out on the ocean. The weather was iffy. It was sprinkling a little bit. We actually got lucky with the weather. The entire trip it was supposed to rain, and it didn't get hit with rain until like the last 2 days of the trip in New Zealand. But we took this boat out to this kind of remote cove, I guess, where there was a beach, and like it wasn't like remote. You could still access it from land, but you have to hike out there. But there weren't like roads or anything out there, at least paved ones. There might have been some dirt ones, because they do have conservationists come out and make sure everything's going okay out there, because they do have porta potties and it is campsites and whatnot. And they're really big about their nature, of course, as places should be. I mean, it's important to upkeep the natural beauty of things. But we got to the island. It was a beautiful island, beautiful beach, untouched besides like the picnic tables and outhouses that were there. And there were also lemon trees. The lemons, we were able to take some lemons off the lemon trees because that was okay. And they were actually really good. They were some of the best lemons I've ever had. They weren't even like too sour. They were kind of almost, they were very sweet and sour. Like it was great. But we went for a walk to this big rope bridge that was by a waterfall. That was really neat. We got pictures. I got pictures of my buddy's family, and they took pictures of me and my buddy. We kind of climbed almost in, like up near the waterfall, a bit off the beaten trail. I think that's the saying, off the beaten trail. So the walk was very pretty. It reminded me of Sea of Thieves, honestly, like this area. Like me and my buddy were both saying like, wow, this is really like Sea of Thieves-y, I guess, if that's how you say that. But it was a really neat area. We really enjoyed it. And after that, we had, and this was all from like 7 a.m. to 12. So this was just like our day was really long. And after we did that, we went back onto the beach. There was some like fake kiwis there. So there's birds that look like kiwis but aren't. And I was trying to feed one of them, and it came up to me. I got some good pictures of it. But yeah, it was really neat. We head back in after we were out there for a little bit, and we got in the car, and so basically a huge storm had came and had wiped out some of the roads and power on the west side of the South Island of New Zealand. So we ended up having to drive back kind of where we had came from, and then go down the east coast, which is the coast me and my buddy traveled up when we had gone there earlier this year, when we got like 2 months ago pretty much. We took a bus up the east coast. So it was actually nice being able to go back there, because we love the east coast. The east coast is absolutely beautiful. We stopped in a town called Korakawa, I think, and just fantastic. Like honestly, out of every place I've been to in my life, which honestly hasn't been much out of the country of the US, but like out of everywhere I've been to, Australia, New Zealand, whatnot, that like town is where I would retire if I had like a lot of money. Like that town was beautiful. It's a very small town. It's just, or even just having a vacation home there if I could. Like it is fantastic. It is beautiful. So we stopped there for dinner and we went on a little walk. Saw some seals on the rocks. That was really neat. And then we headed up to Christchurch for our Airbnb, and we're just staying there the night until we kept heading south to Queensland the next morning. And yeah, that was the second day. And I know, again, like I said, all these seem really quick and like explanations because I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time, but I do want to explain. I mean, it is bodybuilding in Australia, so might as well explain some of the trips I've actually been on here because I feel like I haven't really been doing that. But like I said, I'll try to, I don't think I did in the last one, but I'll try to include some videos or some pictures of our trip while I'm talking, like over this. There might be some here, we'll see what happens, or maybe I'll just look like an idiot pointing here and here. But yeah, as always, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.